what the heroic skills are about, yeah? Or do I need to...
Nope. You probably need to go over that again.
So, like cultural criminal, you have that at level 0. So that means once per entire session, you can decide that you get 12 instead of... And because you are an expert, you can decide to use heroic skill ability after seeing the...
Okay.
Yeah, that's the case in you. Okay, so with 13, you even know some kind of story with that found equipment. Mainly because with cultural criminals, so you know what's going on in Underworld. So the planet has some problem. And that's why probably planet also has like a straight up military, not base, but military city, that there's a part on planet that it's just filled with soldiers and orbital, ground defense cannons that can like shoot something from that orbits around planet. Because like there were one or two incidents that some terrorist group launched a meteor at one of the cities, and first time it happened they like managed to shut it down, but well, sadly smaller pieces like did some destruction, and then they like amped up their defense. And obviously there are some rumors that current government has problem with spy and whatnot, but basically how you found that equipment, like the Jeb, your conspiracy theory, was looking through like space and whatnot. He has his ways of getting information, and he pointed you towards, you know, one of the abandoned buildings and whatnot, maybe even like close by to initial, like one of the meteor's impact. And what you found there was a Dead Man's Cage, or maybe not Dead Man's Cage, like a place where you can just drop something and
A drop.
yeah, dead drop. Oh yeah, that's the place. I mean, I already have an idea like what might have also happened, but I don't know if you wanna play a scene.
It's up to you. I don't mind.
Yeah, because I'm currently, you know, I'm like trying to go on with the flow and like improvise, and just I'm looking through like these complications, enemies, friends. So I would say like what you might like, what you know about terrorists is that let's have a flashback that a few months before 1st January of 3200, you probably, like, what's your usual approach on like investigating buildings and whatnot? Like, you are careful or just try?
Yeah, I'd probably like look at it for a bit and then like sneak up to it, so like a perception then a stealth.
Yeah, but this time it's not needed. You scoop up the area for quite some time. You made sure that because this warehouse or some even like normal like building was damaged from the smaller meteor impact, and like in the distance we can see that parts of the city are majority of the cities. Like this village, the city is abandoned, but in some places there are like construction sites, and some companies try to repair that area from terrorist attack. But you scoop up the area, make sure that you are not seen, then enter. Insides are mostly dust, like there is a lot of dust. And initially you do not find reason to believe that this place was used recently. like majority of the rooms are whatever. Like you imagine at first that everything that was useful or worth something was already taken and ransacked. But as you keep looking, you find a basement, and in a basement then you find a man-made hole, like somebody carved out the concrete in the floor and then digged through it. And that like basement area was looking recently used. Sorry for that.
It's alright, happens.
So, like, what's your initial reaction seeing that you see obvious signs that this place was recently used, but currently there is no one here? In the basement, you might even find like a rolled up futon or like a small, very small, like a fuck, what's the word? Fridge? Or something.
I'll probably check the fridge, see if there's like any drinks in it.
Well,
Take one.
there is a can of soda and some halfly used frozen food. Like, you know, somebody took half of it, used it, and then left the rest in the.
Yeah, I'd probably take the soda while I'm at it.
Okay. But yeah, the hole.
Then I'd go check out the hole.
Yeah. It goes a few meters deep. There's a prepared ladder. And yeah, there's. And also probably as you look around, you find in the basement that there's flick, like a switch. That after checking it, you realize that it's not a switch for lights in the basement. It's a switch for light down below. Because the first time you look down below, it's like pitch black darkness.
Makes sense.
Okay, so when you look down, and if you like from this point, like being on top, not going downwards, you can only think they didn't dig out entire cave or like another room, but this goes into something that was already made. Either sewer or something else.
Makes sense. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and climb down.
You continue to investigate. Okay. So you go down, and the light gives some brightness, but obviously doesn't light up entire tunnel. You realize it's and it has enough light, obviously abandoned, but it has enough light to realize that you see that to your right as you go down, like 20 or 30 meters away from you. Apparently the impact from meteor was hard enough that you know, the infrastructure, like, you know, cracked and whatnot, and the tunnel collapsed on itself. And on the other side, technically you could go onwards, but there are like cracks on ceilings. In some part, like a large pipe from probably sewer pipe, like fell down, blocks one of the tracks. But what catches you, that obviously from time to time there are like a service door. From, like, you know, and that service door looks like that it was not abandoned, that it was used. And if you approach more closely, you see that it has a recent addition to it, electronic lock. Which seems powerful.
Well, then let's hack into it.
Yep. If I remember correctly, security skill also helps you with dealing with.
Would that be intelligence or dexterity? Probably intelligence.
It's security.
If it's electronic.
Yeah, it's intelligence based this time. Very nice. So, I guess you maybe have some prepared small application on your PDA or personal datapad or computer or
Jeb probably gave it to me or something.
Again. Yeah, also a compat. Yeah, compat is usually a PDA thingy with everything. Yeah, so you can add that. You can add that to your gear because compat is also useful. And then you initiate protocols, and apparently either this lock is weak or your program is that good because it only takes 2 seconds and you see the numbers on lock appearing, and then the green light on HUD shows access granted. And there's a soft click and the doors do not open, but there's a click and then they can be pushed open.
So we go in.
So what to find is that originally you think that indeed it was a service room for some sort of emergency in case somebody had to stop and take what's the word? Tool to repair. And now you see a few additions. There is a bunk bed for 2 people. It doesn't have any sheets, but it has I forgot that.
Mattress?
Yeah, and it has some mattress. No pillows. In the middle there is a small box that if you knock it or something, it's hollow inside, and you realize that they were using it as a something that the box, a wooden box, can hold something up, deck of cards or alcohol, not inside. And yeah, you see some cards left, a deck of cards, pack of cigars halfway open, and then probably up to a wall. This room is rather small, max 10 by 10. And then, as we'll try to look closely and realize, you find majority of those things that you get, including plasma projector.
Cool. So then after I gather up all of this stuff that I'm totally not stealing, I'm going to book it out of there, because it looks like someone's been staying here. Yeah,
speaking of which, as you finish packing it all up, give me a perception. Yeah, because you, as a character, you were not especially looking for, information regarding whose is it? Yeah, because you do not find, their compats or, notes. Because I don't have a name for that terrorist group yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe they won't be even important in future. But you stop for a moment and you realize that you hear some sounds, faint sounds of people talking. Obviously, too far away to too far away to realize what exactly are they talking. But with 12, you're pretty sure it's coming not from upside. Oh no, wait, it will be not coming from upside, not from the basement, but it comes like further down in the tunnel, that part that was not collapsed.
And how bright is it outside in the tunnel?
Yeah, the lights that were lighted up when you flick the switch, there are only like one near the ladder and then one at the door where you are, so the rest of the tunnel is not much lighted up. But you are a pretty smart guy, looking at your, but yeah, you have like both 15 wisdom and intelligence, so you have enough common sense to. They might not see you exactly, but when they see, well, it depends how they. No, it doesn't depend. The lights were off, and you know that you flicked them on, so they might realize that, seeing the lights, they might realize that something's going on.
I will try to sneak out of the room, and that pipe that you said was laying down across the track, I'm going to, like, if it's like big enough for me to squeeze into, I'm going to try to do that and like hide in the pipe.
You can absolutely. I'm gonna, do your stealth check, and I'm gonna give them perception check, but with like penalty, because they will not.
That be dexterity then?
Yeah, it can be dexterity based.
Okay.
Okay.
So I will go ahead and take the 12 on that then.
Okay. So it's pretty dark. They don't have night vision goggles, although they will have flashlight, but no night vision goggles, so I will give them minus. Total of -2 on that one. Oh yeah. Even with no penalties, they can't see shit. So there's like, you scramble very stealthily towards that pipe. You squeeze in. You manage to squeeze in. I'm gonna check your trait. No, but yeah, you with 14 dexterity, I imagine you are a more slender and agile person. So you manage to squeeze in. Like, are you trying to position yourself so you have like legs first and then face, so you'll be able to see how they come to that?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you squeeze in without making much sound, and you hear like footsteps, 2 people coming up, and then suddenly there's like they're close enough that you can hear them, and there's like, yo, did you leave the lights on? No. Yeah, they on, and the sound pretty average, not like serial or deadly curious, but like minding their own business. And he's like, fuck, and then there's like shit, and there's like a sound of like somebody taking out its weapon, and there's like a, probably you heard that once or twice, there's like a cock, like a shotgun getting close. Well, whoever's there, he will come on. And then you see them passing by your, and you see one guy, the one who's leading, is pretty, like almost 2 meters tall, but not built up like a Superman, but well, he looks athletic, and he has combat shotgun in hands, but he also has like a large bag on him, like a large backpack that he's carrying, and in it you might spot barely outlines of some tools, like, you know, pickaxes or something, like a digging tools. The other guy is smaller than him, looks more average. He is, from his body language, you think that he's slightly like scared, and I don't know, man, if they found us, maybe we should go away. Maybe they hear us. And he's like, stop being a fucking I swear to God, how the hell did you get upset into group?" And they're like bantering. Then, and the second guy doesn't have a ranged weapon. He doesn't have a pistol. You see that he holds probably a stun button or something. They obviously, as they approach the room, there's like, they stop talking, and he like, there's sign language that he shows. Okay, so on 1, 2, 3, and they're like, the guy with stun button goes first, like is pushed at first, and then this guy is like, "Okay, motherfucker," and then stops talking because he sees that. So before I describe what they are doing next, like, what is your like next plan of action?
My next plan, well, mostly just on what they do. If they like start trying to decide to search, I might do something different. But if they just like decide that like whoever it was is gone, I'll probably like go towards the ladder and just leave. But I will probably start trying to make my way towards the ladder, but not like get into the light.
Yeah. So what happens in the next minute? There's like a sound rattling, a lot of more curse words, like fucking hate that they took our equipment, and there's like a fuck and shit, we need to call, and then like voices subside, so it's really hard to understand what they are saying. And then there's like a, you know, ting, like somebody's calling, and you hear like, "Sir, I'm sorry to say, but we had a breach, not breach, but like security breach. One of our sites is compromised." And obviously like Hewitt's listening from the side, but and that's the big guy talking, and he sounds like almost scared, and like, "No sir, nothing of value, no intel. I yes sir, absolutely sir, and yes we will." And then he finishes and he says, he's stressed, so he says loud enough for you to hear, "Come on, let's burn this fucking place and get..."
Alright, so yeah, while they're preparing to burn it down, I will be leaving.
Okay. They will be too focused on a job to actually... And then you go up the ladder and you exit the...
Yep, and I didn't feel like it'd be really with my character to open fire on them.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, so sometime later you hear a local news report that an unidentified fire had broke out in like district this and investigators are currently not commenting anything, you know, typical stuff, that they are keeping quiet. Investigation is in progress and whatnot, and then you get a call from, it's like, "Hey man, I heard there's a fire down there, or..."
Yeah, I'd tell them that I'm fine and nothing to worry about.
"So, hey, listen, you found something good up there? My intel was good, right?"
A couple guys that wanted to kill me once I found it.
Whoa, rad, man. When guys try to kill, that means you have some mad respect.
Probably. I found this decent piece. It's like almost as long as my arm. Haven't tried it out yet, but I'm sure it'll be useful if anyone else tries to kill me while I'm exploring your leads.
Oh yeah, sure. You know, man needs to protect himself. And if you... And for a moment he wants to tell steal, but then he like... If you took that, borrowed that from...